sure.
Well, today we're going to be diving deep, like really deep, into this whole world of Google Search Console. It's going to help us unlock some crazy insights about how our websites are really performing out there.
Yeah, it's like finding that treasure map, right? To help us navigate this giant ocean that is the internet.
Exactly. And you know the best part? We're not talking about some crazy expensive software here. We're actually we're taking cues from this really cool blog post. It's from hobo-web.co.uk. It's called How to Set Up Google Search Console API. And they make it sound like we could be up and running in like minutes.
Yeah.
Now, I got to admit, API always sounds a bit techie to me, you know?
Yeah, it can. It can. Think of it more like a direct line. Like you set up this direct line to talk to Google and ask some very specific questions about your website.
Okay.
And in return, you get these like super detailed answers. So the Google Search Console API, that is our direct line in this case. And man, it's packed with information.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So no need to brush up on my computer science degree to handle this.
No, not at all. This blog post breaks down the entire setup into 12, believe it or not, simple steps. And best part is we'll just be using, your regular free Gmail account.
Okay.
And the free access that Google gives us with that.
Oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's all about making these powerful tools accessible for everybody.
I love that. Yeah, everyone deserves to know what's going on behind the scenes of their website, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So where do we even begin this adventure? Where's our first stop?
Our first stop is going to be the Google Cloud Console, which again sounds a bit intimidating, but it's really just Google's main hub for managing all these cool tools and resources.
Okay, so kind of like a behind-the-scenes control panel for everything Google.
Exactly. And so the first thing that we're going to do is actually create a new project.
Okay.
And you can think of a project as like a dedicated spice. That's where we're going to set up that direct line to the Google Search Console.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
So according to this blog post, we got to give this project a very specific name. API access.
I love it. They're so organized.
Yeah.
Having a really clear name like API access keeps everything nice and tidy. Easy to find later.
Just like labeling that toolbox so you know exactly what's in there. All right, so we created our project, called it API Access, and now we're diving into the world of APIs and services. Okay, I'm kind of starting to feel like a tech wizard over here.
You're catching on quick. This is where things get really, really interesting.
Because we're about to enable the Google Search Console API.
Yeah.
Which is basically like giving ourselves permission to access all that sweet, sweet website data.
Yes, you got it. You're essentially getting your backstage passes, and we're about to peek behind the curtain here. And from what I hear, there's a lot to see.
That's what I'm excited about. This blog post was hinting at, like, I can analyze my website traffic, I can see how Google sees my website, and even test how user-friendly it is. But before we get ahead of ourselves, what's next on the setup to-do list?
So the next thing that the blog post mentions is to enable the Search Console API.
Okay.
And then we're going to grab something called a project number from the cloud dashboard. And don't worry, it sounds way more complicated than it is. And they give us a really handy link to take us right where we need to go.
Okay, so we're enabling the API, which I guess that's like, I don't know, flipping the switch to activate that direct line.
Yeah.
And then we're grabbing our project number, which kind of sounds like that secret code you need to, like, I don't know, access a hidden level in a video game or something.
You're not wrong. That project number, that's our unique identifier, so Google knows it's really us requesting this data.
So it's like our own personal key to the Google Search Console treasure chest. Okay, I am ready to unlock this thing. What's next?
So the next couple steps, involve a little bit of copying and pasting, but the blog post really holds your hand through it. They tell you exactly what to put, where to put it.
Okay, so instead of overwhelming our listeners with all this technical jargon, maybe just give us the Cliff's Notes version. Like, what's the big picture goal for these next few steps?
Yeah, basically we're creating credentials.
Okay.
Which, sounds fancy, but really all it means is we're proving to Google it's really us asking for all this data, right?
Got it.
It's like having a secure key card to enter the Google Search Console VIP lounge.
Okay, so it's all about security.
Exactly.
Making sure that only authorized personnel can see this data.
You got it. And the blog posts, they even recommend downloading a file with all these credentials in it.
Smart.
Like a backup copy of your VIP key card, just in case.
Smart move.
Yeah.
Especially for someone like me who, tends to misplace things from time to time. So once we've got our credentials all set up, what's the grand finale? Like, how do we wrap this whole setup process up?
Believe it or not, we're pretty much there.
No way.
The last step that the blog post mentions is to test the API connection just to make sure everything's working as it should, like sending a little test message through that direct line that we set up with Google.
And if that message goes through, we are ready to start, like, harnessing the power of Google Search Console.
Yes.
This is so cool. I got to be honest. I'm feeling very official all of a sudden.
As you should. You're about to unlock so much information about your website.
I know. I feel like a real website analyst over here.
That's right. And remember, this is just, this blog post is the tip of the iceberg.
Right.
They even mentioned some other cool stuff we can connect to, like, Google Pagespeed, even Google Drive.
Wait, hold on. Google Pagespeed, like
Yeah.
the thing that tells me how fast or not so fast my website loads.
You got it.
Oh, okay.
And that's just one example. We can pull in all sorts of data, like about our website speed, the performance, how it stacks up against the competition, and get some personalized recommendations for how to make it even better.
Okay, now I'm seeing the real potential here. It's not just about like, oh, who's visiting my website. It's about understanding how Google sees my website.
Exactly.
And how I can make it better for Google, I guess, too.
Exactly. A data-driven approach.
Yeah.
Improve your website's visibility, performance, just all around better user experience.
And to think, this all starts with a few simple steps.
Right.
And a free Gmail account. It's amazing.
Yeah.
But I am curious, this blog post keeps mentioning something called the Hobo SEO dashboard.
Yes.
What is that all about?
So the Hobo SEO dashboard, this is where things get really, really cool. It's like, imagine taking all that raw data from Google Search Console
Okay.
and then turning it into like an actual roadmap for your website.
Okay, so instead of just having like this mountain of data,
Yeah.
I have a tool that actually helps me make sense of it all.
Precisely. Imagine this, like a dashboard that shows you exactly which keywords are bringing people to your site, which pages are killing it, which ones might need a little love, even how your website's loading speed compares to your competitors.
That's amazing. It's like having a personal SEO consultant, like on call 24/7.
Yes.
Just analyzing data,
Yeah.
and giving these personalized recommendations.
That's it. And remember those other APIs that we talked about connecting to, like Google Pagespeed? All those insights, they feed right into this dashboard, giving you this like holistic view of how your website's doing.
Okay, so if I'm understanding this right, connecting to the Google Search Console API, it's really just that first step.
It is.
It's like, I don't know, I'm unlocking the door to this whole universe of website analysis tools and resources that I can use.
It's true. And the best part is all these tools give you the power to make informed decisions about your website.
This has been seriously eye-opening. I got to say, I kind of feel like I've graduated from like message in a bottle website owner to like captain of a fully equipped digital ship ready to sail.
There you go.
But before we sail off into the sunset here, any final words of wisdom for our listeners?
Just remember, data, it's incredibly powerful. And if you take the time to understand how people are finding you, how they're interacting with your website, you can make it way more engaging, user-friendly, and honestly, just more successful overall.
It's not just about rankings, right?
Right.
It's about building a better website for everybody.
Yes.
And who knows, maybe this is just the start of your own deep dive into this whole world of website data.